I'm using a common sage smoke stick to cleanse my home. If you've ever walked into a room and felt an uncomfortable energy, or you're living in a house where there's uncomfortable energies, you don't feel like you're quite alone, and maybe there's unexplained things happening, then making a common sage smudge stick or burning stick might be just what you need to cleanse your home. And I'm going to show you how I make them using sage out of my own garden. To make sage smudge sticks, you'll need freshly harvested sage. It's best to harvest sage stems that are still green and pliable, avoiding the older brown woody ones, and cut them similar lengths. I'm Elissa and welcome to Moat Cottage. The string that we use to wrap the smudge stick will burn, so we need to choose a natural fibre like hemp or jute. I'm using jute because it works great, but if you're not sure and you want to compare your strings, then do a burn test and see how they burn. Jute is on the left and cotton is on the right. The jute is burning slower, so that's why I use it. It's a cleaner burn. Definitely don't use synthetic materials though, because they will melt and drip fire all over the house. Depending on the length of your sage, you'll need around 110 centimetres or 3.5 feet of string. Gather a handful of sage with the stems towards you, keeping the tips of the leaves fairly even, and trim any longer stems. Smooth the leaves so they're pointing in the upward direction and not bent. Place the sage in the middle of the string and tie the stems tightly together with a double knot to hold it in place nicely. The herbs will lose moisture and shrink as they dry, so we want it to be packed as compact as possible. So we need to tie it up as tightly as we possibly can, so that there's less air in it when we're burning it, and it will burn slower, which is what we want for smudging. One half of the string gets tied around clockwise and the other half will go anti-clockwise, crossing at the back and the front each time. The ancient practice of smoke cleansing has been used by many cultures worldwide. Exploring your family's heritage, spiritual practices, or personal connections to specific herbs allows for a meaningful approach to selecting burnables for smudging. Salvia Officinalis, common sage, has been used since ancient times for warding off evil. I've had a long-standing relationship with sage and it's served me well time after time. Near the end, tie it off with another double knot. Fold over the last of the leaves. And tie them in, holding them carefully so that they don't spring back out again. But don't worry if some do. And trim off any leaves that are sticking out. Now they need to dry. If you have hot, dry summers like I do, they can go in a paper bag, but I wouldn't put too many in the bag because they need air circulation around them so they don't go mouldy. This can be put in the car or in a really hot room. Check on the progress daily, but be patient. It does take time for them to dry all the way through. You may need to use a dehydrator. Set it on its lowest setting, and this will take quite a few days for it to dry all the way through. Make sure your lid and all the trays sit flush, and you may need to switch the trays around as well as turning over the sage as well throughout the process. By lowest setting, I meant lowest temperature. You can see the difference of the drying. These are ones I made last week, so they're still damp inside. They've got moisture. You can feel that they're not completely dry yet. These ones were dried last year, and you can see that they're so much smaller because they've shrunk. To use your common sage smoke cleansing stick, place the end in a flame until it starts to smoke. Then it's ready to use. Work your way around the house room by room, stating your intention. For example, cleansing your home of negative or unsettling energy. It's a good idea to place your hand underneath the sage as you work your way around the house, just in case any embers do fall onto the furniture. You don't want a fire. Once you've finished, dip the end in a cup of water and let it dry for about 24 hours before putting it away. For more herbal remedies or to start your apothecary, then check out this playlist. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.